Welcome back in, everybody, to a game day edition of Birds 365. Here, a Thursday edition. Birds taking on the Commanders tonight. Eagles are sitting at 7-2. Commanders are sitting at 7-3 after their loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers last week by 1 in a close game. It's Thursday night football, 8:15 p.m. around kickoff tonight, and it'll be on Fox if you're local or on Amazon Prime if you're not in the market. So a great matchup tonight, a battle for first place in the NFC East. And
First place on the line.
I think the winner of this thing has a real, the real easy, not a easy, but a clear path forward to getting first place in the NFC East, which obviously guarantees you into that playoff picture. So Birds looking for a win tonight. Got another super chat we'll get to, but John, before I get to that, Terry, I'll get to you in a second, brother. John, I want to ask about Dan Quinn and what do you expect him to do tonight? I mean, we talked about this defense, not particularly a stacked defensive roster, missing some key players over there. But what do you expect Dan to try and do tonight to get Jalen off his spot, especially given what we've seen from Jalen this year, maybe some inconsistent play? Is it as simple as force him to beat you in the air? What do you expect Dan to do tonight?
Yeah, if I'm Dan Quinn, I haven't gotten a lot of sleep this week, and similar to, maybe he likes the Thursday night game so he can get some sleep afterwards. I don't know what he can do with the talent he has, and that's why I would be disappointed if the Eagles put up a 24 spot. They don't have the corners to hold up. With AJ and Devontae. Now, Devontae's dealing with a little bit of a hamstring issue, so maybe that slowed him down a little bit. Even Jahan Dotson's showing some life in the limited opportunities he's gotten. The Eagles can go 12 personnel now that Dallas is back if they want with Grant Calcaterra. We know what Saquon's doing, and they don't defend the run well. Which is a lot because, losing Jonathan Allen to a certain degree has really impacted them. So other than, Bobby Wagner doing some Superman stuff, I don't like this matchup at all from the Washington perspective of styles make fights. When it becomes, what do you do if you're Dan Quinn? We've said that all the time. What do you do? That was the whole point, the whole philosophy of building this offense the way Howie Roseman built this offense. All right, you want to take away AJ? We'll just do this. You want to take away Saquon? We'll just do this. And that's where I get the feeling Washington has nowhere to hang their hat in this particular game. But I guess I would have to pray on what we talked about, and that's the consistency of the quarterback. And you force him to beat you, and you hope he's having an off night, I guess would be my plan. And that would be most weeks, to be honest.
There could be a lot of mismatches tonight. PFF Eagles, so like their Philadelphia Eagles account for PFF put out a stat, and they said A.J. Brown has an elite matchup against the Commanders' man coverage tonight. Brown is the top-ranked wide receiver against man coverage, averaging 5 yards per route run. Meanwhile, Washington runs man coverage on 33.7% of passing plays, the seventh highest rate in the NFL. So maybe a mismatch there to be exploited for the Eagles with A.J. Brown tonight, John.
Well, the Eagles always think they have a mismatch with A.J. Brown, always. And I mean, when I say always, I mean always. It doesn't matter if it's Jalen Ramsey or if it's Benjamin St-Juste. They think they have the advantage.
I think they're right about that too.
Yeah, so do I. And that's the point why I bring it up. So, yeah, I mean, that to me isn't obvious. But they haven't, AJ's been very effective this year, and obviously, other than the games he's missed, I think he's averaging close to 100 yards a game. I don't even know. And it's, it's kind of quiet, though. If it's quiet, you look up and he's got 100 receiving yards because they've kind of leaned on the running game. And he's been the one guy producing. you know, the Eagles are at the point where, all right, is this working? We're going to stick with that. Is it not working? We're going to go to this. So that when everybody, and I'm sure you guys will ask me tonight, and I'm sure, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Washington's, whatever the hell they are, 28th in the NFL in run defense. Are they going to run the ball 37 times? If it's working, sure. If it's not working, they're going to move. They're going to shift and take advantage of what you just said. So, I know that's boring for people. I'm sorry, but that's what they're going to do. What's working? Like, I always compare it to the starting pitcher. Sometimes your fastball is working. Sometimes your curveball is working. Old school starting pitchers where you had to pitch 8 innings. Sometimes your changeups is working. Whatever. Might be a cutter, whatever you have in your arsenal, your slider. Sometimes one pitch is working, one pitch isn't. That's what the Eagles are. And that's a good thing to be, by the way. So a lot of teams can't toggle like that. But the Eagles can. And I don't know why people don't like it, because that's sort of what they are and what they believe in. And if the fastball's not there, you go to the curveball, basically. And it's good when you have a good fastball and a good curveball.
Yes, it is. That makes you a great pitcher when you have them both. We'll see what the Birds can do tonight with that. John, what about the matchup defensively here? Terry McLaurin is obviously their number one weapon. He's a very, very good receiver. He's not particularly huge, not like big in size, not a big yak guy, but he's very good, very reliable wide receiver. What's the game plan, to kind of take him out of the game tonight? And then when he does, everybody wants to talk about Quinion versus Terry. I know it's not going to be that every time, but how do you see that matchup, and who do you give the advantage to there?
Yeah, Terry's a very good receiver, and he's been a bit of an Eagles killer over the years. But I don't think, we a little bit with Martin, we talked about the Jamar Chase game. Like, they've dealt with better receivers, and Terry's having a very good year. But I don't look at this. This is not a volume passing team. Like, I don't think you're going to, like, Jamar went for 264 against whomever. What game was that? I forget. But he's not that kind of guy. He's not going to go for 170. Nor do they have the offense. This is more of an Eagles offense. That's sort of the template. Is Jaden Daniels going? Is he cooking? Is Brian Robinson cooking? Is Austin Eckler cooking? All right, no. All right, we're gonna have to throw the ball. They're almost mimic. Obviously, the Eagles have more talent, but they almost mimic each other because of the quarterbacks and the quarterbacks' impact on the running game and the +1 effect of the running game. And when I say impact, it's not just about number of yards. It's about, that a lot of people are going to look at last week and say, all right, he didn't run the ball against Pittsburgh, so that means he can't run the ball. You know how much energy and exertion and impact Pittsburgh had to put on defense to make that happen? And then that allows some other things to happen. You're giving up to get something, you're giving up something else. If you're going to completely, like I always say, you can, from Jim Brown on down and Lamar Jackson on down, if you really want to stop them, you can stop them. Everybody in the running game. You might have to put 9 people on the front, but you can stop anybody you want if you really want to. But the impact people like Jalen Hurts, and most notably Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, probably in the middle of those two, have on defenses when it comes to the running game is immense. Immense. And the Eagles are typically, take advantage of other teams having to deal with that. Now they're going to sort of learn what the other half is going through over the next couple of weeks, because they're going to have to play Jaden and Lamar and Jaden again if everybody stays healthy, and hopefully everybody does. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, man. It is a pain in the ass to deal with those types of quarterbacks.
No doubt. And both of these teams kind of have that type of quarterback. So I think it gives you an advantage, right, in practice when you see the type of quarterback you're going to play. Small,
That's a but by the way, who said that? Yeah, that's a misnomer. They don't practice against Jalen Hurts. In training camp, they do. So if you go back to training
right,
camp,
yeah.
they don't practice against
I
Jalen
just mean familiarity with the style, right? I mean, if you
Yeah.
see, but I get it.
They do it in training camp, but yeah, it's all scout team. They don't. I was N'Kobe, I think. It was like we don't practice against. He shut some poor Allentown guy down, I think. But yeah, he's like, we don't practice against Jalen.
Kobe shutting
And
some
by the way, they don't practice against anybody this week, so it's all walkthroughs. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see Jaden Daniels. I know Eagles fans don't want to hear that, but I'm excited to see him because he is special. And plus, I'm also proud that I would have picked him number 1 overall. I think he's going to be a great player for a long time.
We will see what happens tonight. A big game tonight, everybody. Let's get to a couple super chats here. Johnny Mack, Terry Hayes checking in. Terry, appreciate it, brother. One of our JAKIB Legend members. I got Birds 32-21, which is an interesting score, John. I always am fascinated.
Yeah, I like that
32.
score better.
How do you get to 32
there's
in
a
the
lot of
NFL?
because of 2 points and all the weird stuff that can
Yeah, I
happen.
love that, though. I love thinking about if it's 32, what do you have, 4 touchdowns and a couple field goals and a couple 2-point. I love thinking
I'm
about
going to
that.
let people behind the curtain. I think about scores for about 10 seconds, and I only give scores because I have to give scores.
Yeah, I make your ass give scores. I get it. I get it.
I ain't accumulating it in my head. Yeah, that is what would be called a waste of time. So when I give a score, it's just a basic framework of where I think the game's going. Like I think the Eagles are going to score a bunch, and if they don't, I'm going to be disappointed. From the standpoint of expectations, because they should be able to score against this team.
Good stuff there, Johnny Mack. I will say I'm on a tear this year with my predictions, so you can diminish it all you want. I'm on a roll. Terry Hayes says, by the way, my high school lost in the second round of the playoffs. Terry, sorry to hear that. I know you were keeping us updated on your high school squad. Lost one of my childhood best friends Sunday night. I think he was hit by a car or wrecked his motorized bike really bad. Terrible news there.
Oh,
Terry, prayers up for your brother. Prayers up for him and his family, or her and her family, whoever it is. I don't know, his motorized bike. Sorry to hear that, Terry. We appreciate you being here, man. We appreciate your support. And hopefully the Birds get a win for you tonight to make you feel a little bit better about all the, the bad stuff that goes on in the world. Thank you, man, for the support. Philly Don checks in. Here we go, John. Here we go, Philly Don. Barkley, 130, 1 tutty, 27-20. Go Birds. That means a jersey giveaway. That means a jersey. You have 5 yards. He's TY, which I think he means total yards there. That's a jersey giveaway, Philly Don.
Yeah, sometimes, the jersey giveaway people, sometimes it's not good to get that big lead. Then it means bench time for Saquon.
I don't think that's happening tonight. I think Saquon's a 4-quarter player tonight.
Yeah, probably. I think Washington's going to score some. If you look at Washington's played one more game than the Eagles, but they've scored 290 points. The Eagles have scored 233. So even if you put another 30 spot up for the Eagles, that tells you how good their offense has been to a certain degree. So they can score some points as well. The only, is it a complete shootout from both sides? I think the Eagles defense is playing well enough to at least somewhat curtail that, I would hope. But they can score some points. And even everybody talks about how bad they played last week against Pittsburgh. It was 28-27. They still scored 27 points.
It's true.
You know, I they can do some things on offense, but even you know he Daniels didn't run the ball well. They did a good job. I think McLaurin had a 50-something yard reception, couple 20-yard exceptions, so a bunch of explosive plays. Yeah, there should be some points scored. It'll probably be a 10-6 game because I said,
Someone was saying in the chat, how is Zander say they're not going to score 30 points? I think it was Chan. I appreciate you, Chan. I think it's less about like how good the Commanders' defense is and just the fact that I think a division game, both teams playing good. It might be one of those games where the ball bounces weird. It's a chilly
yeah.
night in
Hey, man.
Philly.
Yeah, everybody, all games have personalities.
Yeah, exactly.
Trademark Jim Sports. All games have personalities. And sometimes the personality is you ain't scoring. So I'm not saying it's out.
Yeah.
Again, it's like Tom Brady calling quarterback or explaining play calls. It's all about predictions. You're basing off what should happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen by any stretch of the imagination. I remember the Minnesota Jacksonville game last week. That was one of the most lopsided games in recent NFL history from every single metric. It was like 84 plays to 42, 450 yards to 100 and something, 28 first downs to 10, and Minnesota only won the game 12-7. Couldn't get in the end zone. Threw, I think, 3 picks inside the red zone. Couldn't get in. Completely. If you looked at everything but the score, you would say, "Oh, this is a 44-10 spot." Every game has a personality.
We got some optimism in our chat right now, John, about this game tonight. Let's see what happens, everybody. Brian Pumper checks in. 2 more super chats, then we'll get our predictions, final thoughts on the game coming out today. I want to thank everybody, by the way, for the support today, the big viewership. Make sure you guys smash that like button for us. It means a lot, goes a long way to help us grow. Brian Pumper. Commies run the same offense. Run heavy, go balls, deep crossers, and zone read.
Commies.
Only difference, Jaden Daniels is a better version of Jalen Hurts. Ooh.
Commies.
Commies is
I
a good
boy,
nickname.
I hate that.
I mean, I don't know what they
name.
were thinking with the Commanders name.
I hate that name. But I haven't
I think I like football team better. I'm not going to lie to you.
I haven't said the R word yet, which is always good on a Commanders week.
Didn't we talk about that like 2 days ago?
Did we? I don't know.
We did. I think you dropped the R word.
Did I?
Right? I thought you did.
I'm wrong. Maybe it's the green screen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Too worried about the
new green screen, new McMullen.
Yeah, not a new green screen. I can't get the green screen.
New look. But a new look.
Anyway, all right, let me read this. Commies run the same out. That's pretty much true. That's why the Eagles may have wanted Cliff Kingsbury, to be honest.
Yeah, silly.
But I digress.
We had Joe Theismann on, John, on Tuesday or Wednesday. He was raving about Cliff Kingsbury like you wouldn't believe. I mean, he's like, look, I love Jaden Daniels, but Cliff has done a masterful job for him. So, people like Cliff up there.
Run heavy, go balls, deep crossers, zone read, difference. Well, I will say this, and again, people get me. Jaden Daniels is more gifted than Jalen Hurts from an athleticism standpoint. That is fair to say.
Really, from athleticism, you think? I think as a passer.
No, he's passing into it and traits. Yeah. No, yeah, he's more gifted. Are you serious? Yeah, he's more.
Well, no, I just think Jalen's an elite athlete.
They're all elite athletes.
Well,
but Jalen's the comparison with Jalen's more of the fullback playing quarterback. Like I said, if you're going, Lamar Jackson's by far the best. All right. If you're going just on that level, I said Jaden's in between them. Yeah, I mean, I can't even believe people would debate that. But he's played 10 games. Is he a
What do you
better
mean? What
version
do you
of
mean? You
Jalen
can't believe
Hurts?
people would
That is
debate that?
way, way too early to say that. Way too early to say that. Is he more gifted? As I said, yeah. He's the second pick in the draft for a reason.
I think he's got a lot, clearly more arm talent. I don't know about more. I don't know about the other stuff.
I didn't even know what to say to that. Why that's not even a debate. That's not it. They're different types of athletes. Jalen's the big, powerful, again, fullback, power lifter.
Yeah, but he's also
Physical.
got abilities in open space. I mean, as he showed many
Sure,
times. Yeah,
but not like this guy. I mean, this guy's the scat back compared to the fullback.
I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I got
I
you. I
mean,
got you.
he's not going to tush push it into. He's not going to have 50 freaking rushing touchdowns because he monsters everybody in the end zone.
Yeah, no, he's
I'm
not.
just saying if you're doing a decathlon, Jaden Daniels is probably going to win that.
Somebody tried a tush push the other night. What was who was that? That wasn't the Eagle. Wasn't the Eagles game? I was watching. I'm like, yeah, it helps when you have a quarterback that can squat 600.
Yeah. So I don't. But people will take that as an insult to Jalen Hurts. It is not an insult. And the best athlete doesn't mean you're the best quarterback. Sometimes it does in the case of
Wait, let's keep rolling because I have a question too before we get out of here, but I want to get these super chats. Brian Pumper, I'm with John. I'm leaning commies because Hurts turnovers come in bunches. QB1 is still a question mark for me.
I'm not.
Right.
Well, Brian, I'm not picking the commies. I'm picking the Eagles to win this game. So, but yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't think the Commanders are ready yet for this spot.
Not ready to take on the big bad birds. Dirty Air. My first home game since 04. I love it, Dirty Air. Enjoy the game tonight. I expect a big Jake Elliott night tonight. 3 field goals. What the hell? 30-20. Eagles over to Commodes. I like it. I like it. Good stuff, Dirty Air. Appreciate it, man. Hope you enjoy the game. And thank you for waking up and watching Birds 365 with us. John, 2 things I didn't talk about that I probably should have talked about. 2 people make their return tonight. Brian Johnson and Zach Ertz. Does Brian Johnson have revenge on his mind? He said that team scapegoated me. Jalen Hurts, my dear friend, scapegoated me.
Now,
Brian Johnson.
By the way, Jalen didn't want to talk about it, but he did.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure he didn't.
He did. He did say they still keep in touch. I don't think Jalen Hurts scapegoated Brian Johnson. I think the Eagles scapegoated Brian Johnson. But yeah, I'm sure he wants to win. I'm sure that he believes it was unfair. And I'm not sure I disagree with him, Brian Johnson. But it is what it is. I mean, people got to get scapegoated when you don't reach expectations in this league. That's just the way it works. No different than any other city. Yeah, every coach knows it. I mean,
made Brian Johnson look like he was the dumbest guy to ever grace a football field.
Well, that's why. That's why fans got to be careful of that because they are doing it purposefully. And it's always amazing to me when they talk. Press Taylor's a better example of this. For years, they told me, "Oh, what a genius this guy is! This guy's going to be a great offensive mind." And then all of a sudden, they turn on him, and then he's the dumbest thing ever. Yeah. And people still say that to this day.
Well, now because he doesn't look so good, it's not like his resume has built up in his favor.
Yeah, it's funny, to Nick's credit, he says, good coaches have good players. I mean, it's so freaking obvious. You can't. I think there is a really large group of people who think a coach can turn like a bunch of bad news bears into
A good
You know,
NFL team, yeah.
it just doesn't work that way.
All right, John, we've reached the last 4 minutes of the show today. It's prediction time on Birds 365. Johnny Mac, where you leaning? Final keys to the game. Any other thoughts going through that big brain of yours? And then your prediction, my friend.
Not that big. I think there's going to be some points scored in this game. And I think the Eagles are going to score more. 34-24.
Ooh.
Philadelphia Eagles will win this game. I think the defense is equipped to somewhat slow it down and keep it away from just being a track meet, but they're going to give up some plays. And yeah, I think, like I said, if you ask me what Dan Quinn's going to do, I don't know. Pray. I mean, on paper, it doesn't look good for Dan.
I don't think Dan has that mindset at all. Are you kidding me?
Well, I know he doesn't have that mindset. I'm saying, if you're asking me, you can't have that mindset as a coach. They're the most optimistic people in the world, NFL coaches.
All right, so J-Mac predicts 34-24.
I don't have to be optimistic, and they don't look like they have the capability to hold up against what the Eagles are going to throw at them offensively. And the only way really you do is if, can Dante Fowler have a big day as he's having a big year as a pass rusher? If Fred Johnson was in there, I might consider it. He ain't in there. It's going to be Jordan Mailata. Good luck with that. I suppose Jordan might not be 100%. Maybe there's a little bit of rust. Maybe you can talk yourself into that. I'm not buying it.
We'll see. Everybody drop your score predictions in the chat. I'd like to see what everybody is thinking tonight. Barb puts 34-13. Holy shit, Barb.
Blowout.
Boy, that would be the start of the national media just glazing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh yeah, it'll turn.
Holy shit.
Turn from he's got to be fired to
Coach of the year, executive of the year, Jalen's MVP, you name it, John. They'll be talking about it. All right, my prediction tonight, Johnny Mac. I'm going 28-24. Eagles win tonight at home. I think they have the advantage being in Philly.
4 touchdowns? How'd you get there?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Maybe a couple.
No Jake Elliott? Poor Jake Elliott. That's what I'm going to complain tomorrow morning. You got to let Jake kick the ball because they're going to, if they score just 4 touchdowns.
I give my score, and 12 seconds later, Johnny Mac's got me questioning it because he said, "Where's the Jake Elliott?"
Well, I'm only playing because
I know.
You think about
it is true. 28 is just a perfect 4 touchdown game.
Yeah, and I'm saying there's going to be some 4th down conversions, and I take the points. I'm laughing. I'm joking.
I know. I get it. 27-14 Eagles. This guy says 41-20 belt.
Oh, come on. All right. Now we're going too far.
27-21 Commanders. Ertz game-winning tutty. Brian Pumper.
Brian. I don't
lives
think
in troll mode.
Yeah, Brian's not is Brian an Eagles fan?
I don't know what Brian. Honestly, Brian is, at this point for me, Brian is comedic relief. He is hilarious, and he's a great supporter of Jacob, so I love him. But sometimes he has me cracking up. I love reading his super chats, though. 31-27, that's a pretty good score there. Birds win. Daz has 28-14, 28-13, 24-21. That's a good one. That's low scoring, but that's good.
Anybody else have the commies?
I don't know if anybody else. Oh, here we go. Now this is our resident Commander fan, so he's obviously taking the commies. He picked my score.
Oh,
he reversed it. He reversed it for the Commanders.
Well, Dan Quinn's going to get some heat for not taking the points then.
I like it. This guy says 31-28. Jake will walk off field goal. 48-6. I don't think I can take it seriously there. 28-10. You think we're holding them to 10? Holy shit.
That would be an impressive performance. I might cantonize Vic Fangio at that point, holding them to 10.
That would be very impressive. All right, John, what's on the agenda today? You heading down? What time you heading down to the link?
Right now. No, I'm joking.
Don't want to get ahead of that traffic though.
Early though,
Yeah.
early as possible. Gotta do a bunch of shows. Never stops.
I always wonder, John, on Thursday nights and like Monday night games, how do the people who are loyal to tailgating the Eagles, like what do they do? Do they take off on today? Like, because there's some people down there already tailgating this freaking
Oh
game.
yeah,
It's a Thursday.
these people get juiced up. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know how they can take off. I would recommend going to your job, but yeah, there will be plenty of people down there getting juiced up on a night game.
The
It's
people are
part of the
calling for
problem.
you. The people are calling for you to hit a tailgate today, John. What say you?
Don't have time. Don't have time. We actually work during these games, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Johnny Mac. Good show today, man. That's a fun. I like the Thursday shows because it makes the week of shows a little bit more exciting. I think it's fun. I know it's a long work night, but we're not digging ditches.
Yeah, but I don't like these games, man.
I know you don't.
Man, we're gonna be. I'm conservatively. I'm gonna get out of there at 2 a.m. if I'm lucky, and then we got to be back here at 8 a.m.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, it's it's a grind.
Tomorrow morning will be. John will either have a concussion from me parading the birds, or he will have a concussion from me saying, "Fire, Nick, run the ball, kick the points."
Yeah, I'm still, concussions affect everybody differently. I'm still in the protocol.
Yeah, you're still in the protocol. Well, I'm putting you right back in it tomorrow. If the Birds win this game in a big way, I could become unsufferable. We will see how it plays out. Appreciate everybody being here today. Got a great crowd in here. Hit that like button. We appreciate all the support this week. We had a huge crowd today, so make sure you guys smash that like button for us. I don't know what we're at. Prince, were you keeping track? I'm not sure what we're at, but we appreciate you. Johnny Mac, great show, man. We will talk to you on the pregame show that's going to be 7:00 tonight. So we'll run the pregame show. We'll probably get you in 7:30, somewhere in there, wherever you're available from the stadium. So we will talk to you then. All right, brother?
All right, game day. Everybody get hyped up.
I'm hyped up.
Go after your work day. Don't
180 we got to. Good stuff, Prince.
Work. Yeah.
Prince, final super chat. I don't give a damn about nothing but the Eagles. Go Birds. I love it, Prince. Thank you, man. Appreciate your support. Johnny Mac, good show, brother. We'll talk to you tonight on pregame, halftime, postgame, and then again tomorrow morning on Birds 365. A lot of content coming, Johnny Mac.
All right. See you, everybody. Enjoy the game.